let's get some more on the situation in Iraq and the region. Julie Lenarz is a Middle East foreign policy expert who has advised the European Parliament and British MPs. She's now the Executive Director of the London-based Human Security Centre and joins us this morning. Good morning, Julie. Thanks for your time. We've heard that Fallujah is now surrounded by the Iraqi army and they may strike in the next few hours. But concerns remain for those 50,000 civilians inside the city. What more can you tell us about the situation there?
Well, what we certainly know is that the offensive is moving forward. It has been prepared for quite a while now, and the Iraqi army made some progress over the last couple of days. The question is now, when will they strike, and how much of a fight ISIS will put up when they strike? I mean, that's really the elephant in the room, if you like, and especially because they are embedded in the civilian population in the city. They are hiding behind civilians. They're using them as human shields, but also we have civilians sympathetic to the Islamic State, so nobody really knows what exactly the Iraqi forces will face when they then actually, go into the city.
And do the Iraqi forces have any other option, given that this battle has been going on for so long and has been so prolonged? Is this the only outcome that can be taken?
Well, eventually they have to take Fallujah. I mean, that has always been trouble for the central government in Baghdad, long before the Islamic State, really. I mean, Fallujah and Anbar province in general has always been trouble, so eventually they have to take Fallujah. It's strategically important, but it's also important for the morale of the Iraqi forces and to show the world that they can actually deal with the threat. The question is just, are they going to be successful this time? Because let's remember, they've tried to take other cities before in Iraq that were captured by the Islamic State, and they failed. They had to retreat and then try again. I mean, that is also a possibility in Fallujah. We don't really know. It's possible they won't succeed this time. They perhaps have to retreat back to the outskirts and try again. This is all the big question at the moment.
Julie, in the past 24 hours, we've also heard that 5,000 have fled Mosul, with word that it's the city to be targeted next, and they've crossed the border into Syria. We know that the YPG is also active. There's renewed discussion between the US and Russia. The picture really doesn't seem to be getting any clearer in the region.
No, but I think what we can say is that ISIS is under pressure at all fronts, if you like. I mean, the three big cities they still have under their control is Al-Raqqa in Syria and Mosul and Fallujah in Iraq. And on all fronts, they are facing offensive, either by the Iraqi army or by the Peshmerga in the north of the country, or the YPG in north of Syria. So this is all not looking very good for the Islamic State. The problem is that all of these cities are densely populated, and of course everyone is concerned for the well-being of the civilians still trapped in these cities. So, you cannot just flatten these cities for what's left of these cities. You have to be really careful, you have to be really strategic about how you go about it, and that is what's making it very, very difficult for the coalition forces to retake control of these cities.
And we do know, as you say, that they appear to be weakened, but as they get weakened in the Middle East, IS seems to be strengthening in Libya. What's the scenario there?
Yes, I mean, Libya has been in a very bad state since the removal of Gaddafi and the foreign intervention, and basically in large parts of the country, nobody is really in control, and we do know that wherever ungoverned spaces occur, terrorist groups, not just the Islamic State, but also Al-Qaeda and others, they take advantage of that, and that's exactly what we're seeing in Libya. So it's entirely possible that, the more ground they lose in Syria and Iraq, the more it will focus on Libya. What we can definitely say is that Islamic State is a threat that's not going to go away anytime soon.
All right, and just before I let you go, we'll return to where we began in Fallujah, with Iraqi forces expected to move in the next few hours. How long do you expect this attack to take?
I think that is impossible to say. I mean, the Iraqis have been very positive, and they'll say we take Fallujah in a few hours. I'd be I'd be more careful. I mean, we have senior US military officials also saying, this could be a very long, a very bloody fight, and it's entirely possible that this attempt will actually fail, and, they have to regroup somewhere in the outskirts and try again. So we really don't know, because we don't really know what the situation in the city is like. We don't know how much support the Islamic State still has. We know they have about 1,000 fighters left, but then the question is, how many people inside of Fallujah are supporting them? Will they put up a fight? Will they give up and let the Iraqis take over? That is the big question.
All right, Julie, good to talk to you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Julie Lenarz is the Executive Director of the London-based Human Security Centre, joining us.